Hey everybody, my name's Brittany. I've been studying the Bible since April of 2017, and when I first started, I didn't know anything about it. It was a lot of information, it got overwhelming, stressful, and so I wanted to start a Bible for Beginners Bible study. Just covering the basic overview of it, not a whole lot of detail or anything, just so you know where to go to find what you want to learn. Last week we ended Deuteronomy, so this week we will start the book of Joshua. Remember, Joshua was Moses' protege, so to speak. He took over after Moses died, and so he's going to take the new generation into the promised land because Moses couldn't. So before he does that, he sends in spies like Moses had done that one time to check it out at first. And then those spies are saved and hidden by a prostitute named Rahab. She's got a wonderful story. It's one of those stories where you can go from the lowest of lows to a follower of Jesus. She was a prostitute, and she saved them. And in return, they did not destroy her and her family's home. Let's see. So, alright, so they crossed the Jordan River to get to the promised land. And God parted that one like he did the Red Sea for Moses. So there's a lot of similarities in their story. And then the Israelites decided to take over Jericho. But in doing so, they didn't attack immediately. They walked around the town for 7 days, giving them a chance to come to God and to fix all their wrongdoings, right? But they never did, of course, right? So the Israelites attacked them and killed everyone but Rahab and her family. And you'll see Rahab mentioned at other points in the Bible too. It's a great story to look into. And so all the plunder, all the gold and silver was supposed to be given to God. But one person had kept some for himself in secret. And because of this, God got angry and they lost the next war that they were in. I'm not sure if I'm saying this. I'm not sure how this is supposed to be pronounced, but it's Ai. They were in a war with Ai. So after that, the kings of 5 different lands all teamed up together to destroy Israel because Israel was such this powerhouse. Everyone knew that God was behind Israel and that it was going to take a lot to destroy them. And let's see. But God was still behind them. They were still victorious. They went on conquering lands and kings. They conquered like 31 kings altogether. And then there's a section where Joshua mentions his age. He's 85 years old now. And they had left on the journey through the wilderness from being exiled from Egypt 45 years ago. And it's always hard to get a timeline on the Bible because not everything works out in a timeline like we see it, especially in the older books. So this is always nice. So it was 45 years ago. And then they spent 38 years traveling through the desert. And then 7 years fighting in the promised land. And you can find that in Joshua chapter 14 verses 10 and 11. So we've got a little bit of timeline now. Joshua's getting up there in age. And then they divide up the land, the promised land, according to tribes, as God has said. And Joseph was dying and reminded the Israelites everything God had done for them from the time of Abraham, all to bringing them out of Egypt, to fighting and conquering the other tribes and kings in the promised land. And then Joshua dies at 110 years old. So after Joshua dies, there is the book of Judges. The book of Judges is difficult. they they start sinning again. Israelites start sinning again, and then God keeps sending them all these judges to rescue them, but all of them work out, but then as soon as they die, it just goes right back to sinning. So next week we will start the book of Judges and see how the Israelites pan out in the new promised land after all God has done for them. Hope y'all have a great, blessed week.